Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and to the continuation of Bryar Rose. My hands tremble as I pick up the Codex Mechanica. Memories from my journey through time with Scar appear in my mind. Back then, the first wardens had placed 3 discs onto spindles and set them inside the box. Once you close the lid, the slits in the box top showed the edges of the discs, which were all covered in glyphs. In turn, the disc spun and stopped, showing different glyphs through the holes in the box's lid. The thing is an ancient slot machine on steroids. I gingerly set the Codex Mechanica on the tabletop. The wooden case is warped and cracked. The colourful paints that once decorated the exterior are now faded beyond recognition. 2 bronze clasps still hold the lid in place. I carefully undo the fasteners and open the box's lid. With each passing second, my heart thuds harder against my ribcage. This moment is really here. We found the Codex Mechanica. Now we'll find the fountain as well. It doesn't seem real. Inside the box I find the discs, each one about the size of my palm. The first one is made from gold, the second is made from a single ruby, and that's it. The silver disc is missing. I carefully lay everything out on the tabletop. Maybe I missed something. Nope. The silver disc is definitely missing. Knox has been watching my actions the entire time. Something wrong, yes. There should be 3 discs. I keep counting the items, like the 3rd disc will appear if I just review the numbers enough. A chill creeps up my back. Tell me I didn't get this far, only to find a busted device. Knox brushes his fingers over the pieces. It's amazing that the thing has lasted thousands of years, still in such a good shape. It picks up the golden disc. I bet it's like any machine. Assemble it with most of its part, and it will mostly work. Now, I know for a fact that Knox can put together a carburettor at the rate to boggle the mind. He basically built his own ollie from scratch. If anyone can figure out how to make this device function, it's my mate. I step back. You want to give it a try? Knox doesn't reply. He just starts putting things together. The expression on his face is a definition of ease and confidence. I wish I could be so calm. But nothing about finding this fountain has been easy. First, I spent years trying to decipher the papri. Second, there was no small amount of drama to find the Codex Mechanica. And third, now that the device is in my hands, it might even be busted. I got the 2 discs in place. Knox carefully closes the lid and reseals the hook and eye clasps. Nice work. The interior is a mess of brass brackets. It would have taken me hours to figure out. Thanks. Knox tapped the top with his pointer finger. Now, let's see what you can do. Immediately the 2 working discs spin. After that they pause. Through the slots in the box top, a pair of glyphs appear, along with Alec Knox. They spent years trying to translate papri, so it's no problem for my mate to read what the box says. Seek the lost disc, reads Knox. The discs rotate once more before pausing. Once more again. Knox translates again. It's in the geyser. He frowns. Geyser? When I went to the past, there was definitely a geyser. There's no question that it was the fountain. I bobbed my head. Well, not to me anyway. But Scar didn't agree. The geyser was covered in streaks of gold, silver and red. It had to be the remnants of magic. And the glyph for fountain can also mean geyser? It's a tricky symbol, says Knox. It can also mean form or something, right? True. So it might not be the fountain, I suppose. That's what I say, but I still think the geyser is a fountain. The disc spin once more. Location, reads Knox. The tiny wheels spin again. More glyphs appear. Caesar's villa. The discs shift until there are no more glyphs visible through the box top. The device stops moving. Guess that's the end of the message, I say. Julius Caesar's villa, Knox murmurs. I visited that place when I was hunting for Denari. Now, I know Knox spent most years hunting the evil Denari in general, And Jules in particular. As somehow, it's different knowing that my mate was roaming around Julia's house. My voice lowers to a hush. What was it like? Knox tilts his head. The villa? Yes. I'm still whispering for some reason. Was it filled with zombie brains? Or secret plans to take over the world? Nah, says Knox. It was just a bunch of old run-down buildings. There was a ruined Roman temple, some modern houses, but those looked abandoned years ago. There were no people or interesting-looking stuff either. That said, I was looking for the Denori, not fountains. What did you say it would look like again? Based on my trip back in time, the fountain of magic should look like the chopped-off top of a geyser. And you sure didn't see anything like that. Unless it was undead. I didn't notice anything in those days. Okay. Take a deep breath. I resolve to start the next phase of the adventure. Next stop, Italy. Not just yet. We need to chat first. Maybe it's because we're mates, but I instantly know what Knox is talking about. About Ella and Alec. Knox held up his phone. I turned after the flight I took to Bouchard. No one's been able to call, thanks to the new spell Alec put on my phone. You know, Ella and Alec must be losing their minds now. We can't expect them to hold off searching for us forever. In fact, I'm surprised Alec hasn't used a tracker spell already to start yelling nasty grams at me through space. It's not like the guy is Mr. Patient. A poof of red smoke hovers in the air before us. Warlock magic. Within a few seconds, the haze takes the shape of a transparent version of Alec's head. Only it's about 4 feet tall. In fact, if the wizard's head from Oz were transparent, red, and a surfer guy, that's what it would look like right now. Did someone mention my name? Asked Alec's head. I may have sent a spell out to detect if a certain person starts to think about other people beside himself. Yeah, Knox rolls his eyes. I did mention you. Your spell worked. Good. That means you're done hiding under whatever rock you crawled under. Now, turn to your damn phone, claw boy. I stare at Alex's floating head. This is so strange. I go on tiptoe to whisper in Knox's ear. Can he hear me? Nah, answers Knox. Only me. We have an agreement that we don't bug each other when our cell phones are off. Knox says that last part extra loud. Unless, relays floating head Alec, the other person disappears, freaks out the best friend, and then starts talking about said best friend. In that case, the best friend can send a magical version of their floating head to chat. Knox chuckles. You made that up. Alex gives another from his, collection of, eye rolls. Duh. Give me a sec with Bry, says Knox. What's wrong? I can smell the worry. Floating at Alex's eyes get large. What's up with Bry? Should I transport over? A minute and some privacy. Look, I begin. I still feel the same way I did back at Bouchard. There's no reason to get Alec on this. Ella either. It's too dangerous. Knox tilts his head. You really think we can keep them out? Floating head Alec pretends to look around the room. What shall I do when I'm being ignored and using up incredible amounts of magic to try to communicate? He makes an exaggerated aha face. I've got it. How about I count down until you decide to acknowledge me? Nah. Yes. Floating Alec is now singing the Jeopardy theme song. My life is beyond bizarre. Na 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 boom boom. I can do this all day, and I know you find it totally annoying. He clears his throat. Second verse, same as first. Na 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 na. While Alec keeps singing, Knox pulls his phone out from his jacket pocket. The device is glowing red with magic. Holding it between his thumb and forefinger, my mate jiggles his cell from side to side. The question is there but unspoken. Should I turn it on? Do it, I sigh. When Alex sets his mind on something else, there really is no way to stop him. Plus, he has a terrible singing voice. Knox turns on his phone, and the floating Alec head disappears. Within seconds, the cell blares out Darth Vader's March, which is Alec's special ringtone. Knox takes the call. Hey. Through the tiny speaker, Alec complains in rapid-fire style. Knox's best friend talks so quickly, it's hard to make out what he says. I do catch a few choice words like dickhead and stubborn. Knox raises his voice. You want to come here? This time I can hear Alec's voice clearly. What do you think, fur bunny? Then stop your belly aching and transport over already. We both know you have enough of my personal crap, so you can find me any time. Alec's tinny voice sounds again. I was trying to be sensitive. We have a deal about this stuff, and you went out of town to find Bry. I knew you'd track her down. There was no way I'd just transport over and interrupt. You and Bry could have been having a moment. You guessed it, genius, says Knox. We're having a big moment. And with that little song of yours, you just interrupted us. My face blazes red. Earth, please open up because I need somewhere to hide. When I speak again, my voice comes out as a chirp. There was no moment. I know Knox is just busting on Alec, but it still feels important to clarify the moment thing. It's not like we were getting naked in Knox's fancy dining room in his castle, which his ex-girlfriend just decorated in red slime that looks a lot like blood. Did I mention my life is weird? Knox hangs up. Alec will be here in a second. He eyes me carefully. I sense concern. What worries you? Is it how I told Alec we're having a moment? I forgot you weren't raised with shifters. We're really open about stuff like that. Once again, my mouth starts moving on its own. No, I'm totally fine. I get that you and Alec bust on each other, and if you wanted to, you can tell our friends how we kiss and stuff. So totally good. I don't care. Not me at all. Wow, terrible speech, Bry. I clear my throat. You know what? It might be time to change the subject. Knox's blue eyes glisten with mischief. If you say so. But you're really cute when you're embarrassed. Okay, so, well, since Alec is on his way, I'll just revive my inner wolf now. Knox's brows lift. You've had her in stasis all this time. What can I say? My wolf really wanted to bite your ex's face off, or ankle, finger, toe. Knox cracks out another one of his thinking faces. It's this one. He acts like he's contemplating something super serious, but he's mostly kidding. Sounds like you made the right choice. Thank you, I wink. I'll just wake her up now. Closing my eyes, I concentrate on picturing the strands of golden power that interlace through my soul. Sure enough, I picture them as they weave and dance in space. I send them a command. Awaken my wolf. Inside my heart, my inner animal stirs. After smacking her lips, my wolf does one of those animal yawns that makes you wonder how anyone's tongue could possibly be that long. You put me to sleep, she grumbles. You're in stasis, I say in my mind. There's a difference. And then I only did it because you were losing your cool and wouldn't listen to reason. T just gave us the Codex Mechanica, by the way. That wouldn't have happened if you'd attacked her. My wolf lifts her chin. She doesn't need a face to hand over a box. After that, my inner animal plunks her head back onto her forepaws and pretends to be asleep. I've seen this move before. This is my wolf's version of silent treatment. I decide to give her some space. All of a sudden, a will of red smoke appears on the floor nearby. The twisted mist winds and lengthens. It's all about as tall as Knox. An electric sense of magic fills the air. The crimson mist is most definitely transport spell. No question who's casting either. Alec. The mist disappears as a flash of red light. Where the haze once appeared, there now stands both Alec and Ella. The pair of them dressed in jeans and t-shirts. Of course, Alec is wearing his ever-present sport coat. Alec believed that real wizards don't tote around enchanted gems in man bags. Ella looks like Showbiz does, tall and slim with blonde hair, wide blue eyes. I'm so happy to see her. I could do a cartwheel or something equally embarrassing. Instead, I race over and give her a big hug. I missed you, I say. She pats my back. Of course you did. I'm awesome. We step apart. So, are you done being noble and ready to accept my help? I can't help but smile. Yes, I am. Meanwhile, Alex scans Nox from head to toe. You look like hell, he announces. Nox quirks his right eyebrow. Stuff it. When I first started hanging out with Nox and Alec, I'd worry how they'd greet each other with insults. Now I know it's Nox Alec thing, and those two have been friends since they were kids. Fine, I take it back, says Alec. You look like hell back in New York. Now you look like whatever is below hell. Maybe some kind of deep, sub-hellish space. Like a basement-type area where Satan stores his old records and stuff. Nox shoots a look at Alec, a rude look. I'd be angry about your crude and immature display, says Alec. But, like I said, you look near death, so I can't be upset with you. Alec constantly looks like he's posing for a menswear catalogue. Right now, he's taken a pose where he sets his pointer finger on his chin. After a moment, Alec snaps his fingers. Oh, wait, I take it back. I should totally be pissed because how could you turn your phone off? Nox shrugs. Because you put that silencer spell on it. That way I can shut it off and no one bugs me. Alec rolls his eyes. This guy's collection of eye rolls, by the way. The one he's using now is a sarcastic half-roll manoeuvre. I only did that because your crazy ex-girlfriend kept calling you. You were supposed to use that spell. On her, not me. Ella and I have been worried. But then Alex stops mid-sentence. For the first time, he scans the room. Whoa. We're in your castle. Inside my soul, my wolf perks right up. All our anger about Gwen and Stasis vanishes. Under this news about Nox. Our mate has castles, yay! So many dens for our cubs. I decide to ignore the cubs comment. Don't get too excited, I reply in my head. We don't know what Alec meant. Turning to my outside voice, I address Alec directly. Wait a second. Do you mean to say that Nox has more than one castle? Sure, says Alec. He's got dozens. It's not dozens. Nox looks to the ceiling, his mouth making silent calculations. Only 8. Within my heart, my wolf prances about with her tail held high. Dens for cubs, dens for cubs. I keep right on ignoring her. My bad, says Alex. This time with a 360 eye roll. You only have 8 castles. I don't have anything, counters Nox. Az has a ton of castles, and he left them all to me. Ella shoots me a look. Interesting distinction. I know, I say. That's what I was thinking too. Fact. This is why life's so much better with Ella around. Yeah, estrogen-laden mind reading. Alec moves in to another one of his catalogue poses. This time he leans back on his left leg while shoving his hands in his front pocket of his jeans. So let me get this straight. You brought your new mate here to meet your old ex. Long story, growls Nox. Alec turns to me. Is that why there's blood everywhere? His smile widens. Tell me you killed her. Alec bobs his brows. I simply can't stand tea. All this red isn't blood, I say quickly. It's left over from the crimson rain spell that T cast. After that, I have a slow moment to think through what Alex said. Although, what kind of friendship do you and Nox have? We're transported into a bloody room. Doesn't surprise you? Alex shrugs. I know how your mate likes to kill stuff, and I like to transport him out of danger before that stuff kills him back. Speaking of which, Alec turns to knock. Did you maybe... Alec mimes a stabbing motion. Tell me that you at least got tea a little bit. My inner animal takes this as a total validation. See? She says in my heart, I could definitely have gotten her too. Tea isn't dead, says Nox. She's evaporated for a while. Alec mock frowns. How disappointing. Ella points at the streak of crimson on the oak wall. So what is that red stuff anyway? It's the residue of a memory spell, I explain. T cast it to help Nox recall information about the void. Otherwise, there's this curse that wipes everything out like that. I snap my fingers. Alec pauses mid-sentence. Here we go again. A long moment passes while Alec looks around the room, confused. At last, he speaks once more. What were we talking about? Knox hands him a glass of red-tinted water. Drink this, and we'll tell you everything. I do the same for Ella, too. You too, Ella. Ella and Alec both take in the big swigs of water. A red haze appears around their skin, while that familiar something fills the air. The spell ends. The crimson mist disappears. With that, our friends, now tons of questions about the void. It takes a few minutes, but Knox and I explain all about the Codex Mechanica and the void. Ella seems excited to learn that magic could be, well, wiped away. Not that I blame her. It was Ella's magic that made her a target for her stepfamily. For his part, Alec doesn't seem too upset about losing his abilities as a wizard. In fact, Alec only appears worried about Knox. So what does this mean for my furry friend here, says Alec. Will Knox lose his animal? Inside my soul, my wolf whimpers. Whenever this topic comes up, my animal never worries about herself, strangely enough. All she cares about is that she doesn't want anything to happen to Knox. Wolf-mate bonds are intense. For the record, I'm slowly coming to terms with the fact that magic and the void need to be destroyed. It sucks, but it's less awful than the universe being devoured by a crazy ghost man. Even so, it's too early for us to get wrapped around that particular axe. Look, I say, the first wardens used a device to destroy the fountain, but all that destruction stuff is a distant step 2 right now. Step 1 is just to find the fountain and protect it from the void. If he gets that power, he'll devour the world. Ella purses her lips. That's a thinking face, and she's been doing it a lot these past few minutes. And the Codex Mechanica says that the fountain's hidden in Julius Caesar's villa. It technically, says Knox, is said to find the third disc in the geyser. Alec folds his arms over his chest, lifts his right hand, and touches his cheek with his pointer finger. It's an other in his collection of menswear catalogue poses. You don't believe these wardens, do you? I don't trust anyone but you and Bry, says Knox. My mate turns to Ella. I don't know what to make about you yet. Ella shrugs. I'm a con artist. Good call. Alec taps his pointer finger against his cheek. And your lack of trust for these past wardens, does it have anything to do with the fact that magic is making you sick being around Bry? The veins pop out in Knox's neck. Magic isn't making me sick for being near Bry. There is another explanation. My heart sinks. If there's another explanation, I don't buy it. Inside my soul, my wolf whimpers. If we're making Knox sick, then we have to destroy magic. He's our mate. Let's find the fountain first, okay? If I have to die so Knox can live, then you have to take my life. My eyes widen. Ella and Knox both catch the moment. Knox is first to speak. What's wrong, Bry? It's my wolf, I explain. She's not happy about this. Ella steps closer. Her face all smiles. How about we all get back to finding the fountain? She focuses on Knox. The Codex Mechanica said it was at Caesar's villa. Yeah, grumbles Knox. So? Ella scoops some kind of puff pastry from the tabletop. Looks like we're off to Italy then. She eyes the now pink treat. Focusing on food is a lot easier than dealing with destroying all magic and our inner animals to boot. For a long moment, I stare at the once white pastry. It's now dotted with red from T's spell. I sure want to eat that. It's probably all soggy from the rain. Ella looks at me like I'm crazy. It's pastry, Bry. My best friend loves food, after all. Ella pops the thing in her mouth anyway, because, hey, she's Ella. It's good. After that, she talks to Alec through her mouthful of pastry. So when are you transporting us? She ends her question with a grin and a wink. Some pink colours Alec's cheeks. I could start right now, I guess. For the record, I love how Ella transforms Alec from Mr. Smooth to a red-faced babbler. It's really sweet. Wait. Before you cast that spell, can you... Knox gestures around his head. which is still matted down with red stuff. Alec cracks out another classic from his collection of eye rolls. In this one, Alec shakes his head while staring at the ceiling. I suppose. Thanks, man. Knox gestures around the room. Oh, and one more thing. Can you clean up this place too? That way, Louis isn't scrubbing walls for days. Through the door, I hear a familiar French voice. Merci, my master, sir. Knox cups his hands by his mouth. No worries, Louis. And remember, call me if tea gets to be too much. She promised to go away forever, so she'll be back in 2 weeks or so. I promise, says Louis. And stop listening at the doors, as Knox. I only do it to keep you safe, but I will leave as requested. After that, an exaggerated set of footsteps sound from the outer hall. Clearly Louis is trying to make it obvious that he's walking away. That said, I know Knox well enough to realise that he's got a lot of trust in Louis. Otherwise, Knox would have had Alec cast some ward and silencer spells around the dining room, so all the conversations would have been private. Alec gaze flickers between Knox and the red mass in the dining room. Wait just a minute here. Alec wags his finger at Knox. Did you finally turn your cell on because I sang the Jeopardy song? Or was it because you hate being sticky and you don't have time to clean up? If Alec has an eye roll recollection, then Knox has one for thinking faces. This time Knox bobs his head while puffing out his lower lip. Could be a sticky thing. Alec gasps. You're such an ass. I'm doing 0 for you. Do you hear me? No spells, no cleaning, no transport. You can haul your own ass to Italy. I get that you're pissed at me, says Knox. But what about Brian Paul Louis here? I give Alec my best puppy dog impression. Please? Sure, I'm begging, but I'm also in a big hurry. Plus, there's no way I want to go back into that Fiat. Talk about uncomfortable. Ella points to her shirt. Hey, I dribbled some red goop on my shirt too, so help? It's the help that does it. The moment Ella asks anything, and I mean anything, Alec, well, gets all gooey-eyed. We're totally getting all the spells. Fine, says Alec. I'll cast some cleaning and transporter spells, but that's it. He pulls some gemstones from his pocket. Now get ready to witness my awesomeness. As Alec fiddles with the gemstones, I remember something Az once told me. We all have our family of chance and a family of choice. All my life, I had no idea who my real parents were. But in this moment, I know with certainty that my true family consists of Ella, Alec, and Knox. Just having them here makes a terrible situation almost fun. A fine choice, indeed. And that is the next part of Bryar Rose. Geesh, it's really gonna happen then, I guess. Now they have the Codex Mechanica, things have to go forward. And I hope they don't lose their wolves. I have to let you know that there are 32 chapters in this. We are on 24. So it's not long until the story ends, guys. But will it end in disaster? Or will it end in happiness? Who knows, right? Thank you for listening, and many blessings.